Are you using agendas most effectively to help you win deals? If not, hey, you better listen to this episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm excited for another great episode. I'm excited to be here with you and to kick back, relax, chat, enjoy, and have a good time. And today we're going to have a great discussion. It's about agendas and how do you use these in sales meeting, why they're so important. But before we dive into that, I want to go ahead and give a shout out this week. I want to give a big shout out this week to Jordan. Jordan, thank you so much for connecting to the Sales Evangelist. I'm excited you found us in iTunes. I appreciate that. And for spreading the word, evangelizing, and doing big things. Thank you. I know you're going to kill it out there in the software world. Also, Andrew, thank you again for connecting. I appreciate all the great things. Paul, excited to learn from you. Excited to connect again, man. Thank you so much for all the great advice and great tips. And I look forward to being able to help as much as I can. If you guys would like to connect with me, hey, it ain't no big thing. I know that's not a word. Ain't is not a word. Ain't no big deal. Anyways, if you'd like to connect with me, go ahead and find me on Facebook, or you can find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is Donald C. Kelly. You can find me on Facebook in our private Facebook group. Shh, don't you go tell nobody about that. It's the Sales Evangelizers, and it's where other sellers like yourself, myself, entrepreneurs, people who are out there hustling and bustling can come together, share thoughts, insights, build strategic alliances, and just all around learn and grow in our craft of selling. Tell everyone about it. I want to hear about that and hear your stories, so join us there. Or you can like our Facebook page, The Sales Evangelist, or you can send me an email, donald@thesalesevangelist.com, donald@thesalesevangelist.com. You can find a lot of this information on our website at thesalesevangelist.com. So last week I had my good buddy, Mr. Rob Harper, on the show, and we spoke about different things. We spoke about voodoo selling, man, and and we also chat about different things. One of the things that came up in our discussion was the idea of agendas and how to have those in meetings. And it's important to have an agenda. It is very, very vital. It's very, very key towards your organization, towards your success. I'm going to explain to you why I feel this way, why I'm so passionate about agendas, and how effective they've been for me, especially working with executives. So picture this. You are speaking to a decision maker. These executives are individuals who are, they are the ones who are making the decision in an organization. No business I know about, at least that are making profit, are just simply there not to make profit. It's just a matter of fact. If they have a business, most likely the goal is for them to have some kind of increase in revenue, even if it's a nonprofit. These individuals are very busy individuals and they have a lot of things going on. So the focus of them as an executive or a decision maker is, I need to find things that are going to help me increase revenue or things that are going to help me bring down the expenses. Simple math that they focus on. They're very busy. You're busy as well. Their time is like gold. I know executives that treat their time like gold. It's very precious. This is why they have an assistant. These executive assistants, or some people call them gatekeeper, are the ones that block you from getting to them and everybody else, because that time is very precious and crucial. They try to maximize that time. All of them, more than likely, when they go to a meeting, they have someone who takes minutes. They have someone who keeps an agenda. You go to any board meeting or any important meeting, you see this happen. It's like, it makes the meeting a little bit more professional when you go and you see an agenda. They're like, oh, this is thought out. I'm not just going to go waste my time. Again, time is an important asset to these individuals, and it should be to you too. So how annoying is it when you go to a meeting and there's no agenda, there's no focus, it's just someone in there and they're rambling and going forth here and there, and you don't know what's going to happen. I tell you what, that is a big turnoff. And I imagine for these executives, it's the same thing as well. Well, actually, I know that's a big turnoff for them as well, because you think about it. They're used to these agendas and programs and things outlined. So you go into a meeting with a sales rep. Is this person going to help me increase revenue, and how? Or are they going to help me bring down expenses, and how? What do they have to offer this? Go. Your meetings and your agenda should include an objective, a clear objective of what the meeting is about. You might say, well, Donald, I don't know what the meeting is exactly going to be about. I'm trying to meet with them to figure things out if we're a fit or not. I understand that, and I agree with that. But before you meet with them, you can have a conversation with that individual, talk to them on the phone, and find out what are the main things that you want to make sure we go over or cover in this meeting. That's one thing I ask them. If I'm setting an appointment, that's something I say, we want to make sure that we do X, Y, and Z. Is there anything that you want to make sure that we cover in the meeting so I can come prepared with that information for you? They might say, yeah, I want to learn more about this, this, and this, or whatever. So now I know what's going to be on the agenda. That's the objective of this meeting. I'm going to show you how you can reduce expenses by implementing this widget that's going to bring it down by 67%. This is how I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to share different examples. You wanted to learn about other companies that are doing this. Here are some examples. I put these things in the agenda. I send an email to them with a calendar invitation, and I put that in the invitation. I might say something to the nature of, John, I'm excited to meet with you. I look forward to discovering ways how we can help you reduce your expenses as well with blah, 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 blah. Per our discussion, I'm including them. They said some things. Here are some of the things I'll make sure that we cover in our meeting, or make sure that we go over, or look forward to discussing with you. And I list those bullet points in there. Some people like to put questions in there, or put questions. I don't want to make it seem like an interrogation, or I'm going to, going in there and I'm an investigator. I'm going to go with these points. Look forward to covering X, Y. Look forward to sharing with you about, this, that, whatever they wanted to learn about the company and other companies that we're working with, and examples. I put those, 5, 6 bullet points in there, and I make sure that we go over those things in that he knows beforehand, so that when he gets to the meeting, John knows what we're going to go over, and that we're not going to be a surprise. We're not going to hit him with like an okie doke. Okie doke, if you don't know what that is, I'll put an insert in the show notes where you can find another episode where I discuss that. But there won't be any surprises. We both know what's going to happen when we get to the table and we start having this discussion. And we start finding out if we're an exact fit and if we can go forward together as a partnership or a business relationship. So now that he has that, he knows. I put an alert on that to remind him that maybe an hour before or 2 hours before or whatever it is, a day before, that I'm going to meet with him. And now then I know that he knows this. We are connected. We're all on the same page. You can even call beforehand, a day before, just to confirm, make sure everything is still good. Some people find this scary and say, what if they cancel? Well, I don't care. If they're going to cancel, they're going to cancel either way. So I want to make sure that I'm confident enough again. So I'm going to call them and say, hey, I will make sure that we're still on for tomorrow, or drop an email or something, some kind of way of confirming. And you more than likely, they're still good to go. So now that the agenda is set, we know what we're going to discuss. We have everything, all taken care of. It's all copacetic. We go into the meeting. And when we get there, what I do is now important. Again, I set the agenda. We set the agenda. We're not going to just not follow it. When I get to the meeting, I do a couple things. I make sure that it's still a good time. John, still a good time for us to meet. Of course, it's going to be a good time, more than likely. And he's going to say yes. But sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes these executives, their time is very valuable again to get very busy. Something may come up, well, I have a board meeting today, Donald. I didn't realize it. I forgot about it. Well, you know what? I have no biggie with that. Let's go ahead and reschedule. I want to make sure that everything is good with him. But if the meeting time is still good, everything is still great, then we go forward and we go ahead and we have our discussion. I then ask them, I remind them, this is something that I bring up, very, very crucial that I bring up. I learned this early on in my selling career and I still use it today. I will say something to the nature of, John, we recognize that we're not after we build bond and rapport, we build a relationship, I will do things to make sure I just don't jump straight into business. Sometimes we usually can connect. And this is more so on the research that I've done and be able to know something that I can have as a common ground. But we chat for a little bit, build that bonding rapport. It's important. I'm mirroring him and we're sitting down or, whatever it might be. But I also just explain, John, I understand that we're not a fit for everybody. If we are, that would have been awesome. We'll be great. But we recognize that we're not a fit for everyone. If, as we go through this discussion today, if you recognize that we're not a fit, is it okay if you tell me that we're not a fit? And he'll be like, okay, I'm fine with telling you that it's not a fit. I'm an executive. I'm important. And then I would turn on him and say, John, but if I recognize that it's not a fit, is it okay with you if I was able to tell you that it's not a fit? And more than likely, he'll be stunned and say, yeah, I agree with that. Because I want to express that my time is important, your time is important, and I want to make sure that we're a good fit. And then I will say, these are things that we have a list. Let's go through them. We have a discussion. If there's anything that you change, anything else you want to learn about. And we just use this as a guideline. Now I can go through my sales process, whatever my sales process is, or whatever the sales process that's needed to help John. I mold my sales process according to him, to his buying process, because there's things that he wants to know before he makes a decision. And there's things that I need to know if we can make a decision to go forward. It's a relationship Think more for like the other person. What do they need? What do they want? And provide that. And vice versa. You need to, more likely, he's going to think about you. He's going to know you need to learn some certain things about them. That's just how it is. It's the nature of business. So now that you have this understanding and you're thinking about the customer or this potential client, you are able to then provide them what they need. And then you can go through those things that you need to cover as well. And you go through your sales process. This keeps you in line. I don't care who you are. I discuss with people who are, seasoned sales professional for years. And we come back down to the basics. They stop thriving or being successful because they stop doing the basics. And these are one of the basic things, having an agenda. It doesn't need to be complicated. I put an example on our website so you can get access to it for this episode. But listen, that little invite could have all that information in there. It's just a template for you to follow. And then you can go through it. As you meet with them, you can write things down if you physically brought the agenda or on your tablet, but you can review it or on your device. But I would bring that agenda to go through it physically. And I can have room to write things down. I'll tell him, hey, John, I'm not playing tic-tac-toes back here. I'm just taking some notes on our discussion, okay? And then I can, after the meeting, review some of those things. And then at the end of that agenda, I have a clear next step. I ask that. Based on our discussion today, we said if there will be a fit, we'll go forward. If there's not a fit, then so be it. Do you feel that what we've discussed today so far, we're fit to go to the next step? Perfect. What would you like to do next, John? And then he's going to say, well, now that I know this, let's go forward with whatever it is. In your sales process, it may be different. It may say, well, let's do a pricing. Let's get my team together. Let's do a demonstration. Whatever it is, you have your sales process and you can mold it according to their needs. Make sure you still stay in line and you follow your order. And then now the next step, we both know what it is. When I go home or I leave, I put that information in my CRM or just, if it's already digital, I can just copy that and put that into Salesforce or whatever it is, my notes. But then now I can then have the follow-up. Hey, John, we discussed this. Look forward to, planning the demonstration with you and your team, and CC whoever I need to CC on it on his staff side. Now he knows what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen, and we move forward to the next step. This is crucial. They like it. You need it. It provides order and it provides a way for you to follow through on your processes. It makes it very, very effective and it provides a little bit more professional touch. Well, I hope that makes sense for you. When it comes back to it again, have an agenda. It shows the executives that they're important, that your time is important, their time is important. It shows that you're a professional. It shows that you listen to them. It shows that you care. It shows that you take time. It shows that you want to treat them the way that they want to be treated. And that's important. People want to feel that you care, that you listen to them. And if you do this, it's just going to put you above and beyond. Some people do it, some people don't. Hey, I like it. I highly encourage it. If you have questions about this, you can go ahead and contact a brother. You can find me on Facebook. Again, the Sales Evangelizers is our private Facebook group. Don't go tell nobody about it. And then you can go ahead and send me an email, donald@thesalesevangelist.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Overall, I want you to have success. But most importantly, I want you to go out and do big things.